Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that seems to trip a lot of people up in the kitchen. The perfect poached egg. It gets this reputation for being super tricky, almost like this culinary high art.
Right.
But our mission today, looking at the art of poaching an egg, is really just to break it down for you, show you it's doable.
Absolutely.
Because really, you just need an egg, some water, maybe a little bit of vinegar if you're feeling fancy.
And that's the fascinating thing, isn't it? How something that looks complex in the kitchen or, well, anywhere really, often just boils down to a few key things.
Exactly.
Understand those steps, understand the why behind them, and suddenly it's not so daunting. And that's what we'll walk you through. Getting the water just right.
Okay.
How you actually introduce the egg and hitting that perfect cooking time.
Okay, let's dive into that. So the source is pretty specific. Boil it first, but then drop it right down to a gentle simmer. Why that two-step? Why not just, keep it boiling or start lower?
Yeah, that's crucial. A gentle simmer. We're talking tiny bubbles, just barely breaking the surface, not like a raging boil.
Right,
The
okay.
difference is huge. A rolling boil is just too violent. It'll tear apart the egg white, make a total mess.
Oh, okay. Like
Sure.
those stringy bits you sometimes get.
Exactly. The gentle simmer gives you control. It's stable, it lets the egg cook evenly, lets the white set nicely around the yolk. It's all about being gentle.
Gentle, right. Stability, not chaos. Makes sense. So while the water is calming down to that simmer, what about the egg itself? Do you just crack it straight in? I've seen that. Seems risky.
Yeah. Risky is one word for it. Definitely better to crack your egg into a small bowl first. A ramekin works great.
Okay.
Two reasons, really. One, you can easily fish out any stray shell bits. Nobody wants crunchy eggs.
Uh-huh.
And two, it lets you check the freshness.
Ah.
A really fresh egg has a nice tight yolk and thick white. Plus, and this is important, it sets you up perfectly for the next step, gives you control.
Control again. Okay, so this next step, I have to admit, my early poached eggs looked less like eggs and more like weird underwater clouds.
In there.
The source talks about stirring the simmering water to create a swirl before you put the egg in. That feels counterintuitive, like you're just stirring things up.
It does seem odd at first, doesn't it? But it's actually a really clever trick. You stir it gently, just enough to get a little whirlpool, a vortex going in the middle.
A vortex. Okay.
Then you gently slide the egg from the bowl right into the center of that swirl. The spinning water, the centripetal force, it actually helps pull the egg white in towards the yolk.
So it wraps itself up.
Pretty much. It encourages the white to set around the yolk neatly instead of spreading out all over the pot. Less of those wispy bits, more of a nice compact shape. It's using the water's motion to your advantage.
It's actually brilliant.
Yeah.
Simple physics. Okay, so egg is in the swirl, looking neat, hopefully. Now the waiting game. How long? This feels like where you can easily mess it up. Too runny, too hard.
Yeah, timing is absolutely key for that perfect oozy yolk. The sweet spot, according to our source, is right around 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4. Okay, pretty precise.
Any less. The white might be a bit too delicate, maybe slightly underdone. Any more, and you start cooking the yolk solid. You lose that lovely runny center, which is kind of the whole point, right?
Like a money shot.
Exactly. So 3, 4 minutes, then just gently lift it out with a slotted spoon. Let the water drain off. Done.
Wow. Okay, so when you break it down like that,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound nearly as scary. Gentle simmer, crack into a bowl, make a little swirl, slide it in, 3 to 4 minutes. That's really it.
That's really it.
It shows how something like the art of poaching an egg, which sounds so grand, is just about understanding these like fundamental little steps. It's totally achievable.
And isn't that often the case? You look at something that seems complicated, whether it's cooking or, I don't know, learning a skill, anything. And when you actually break it apart, figure out the essential bits, understand why you're doing each part, it becomes, well, manageable. It's not magic, it's process.
Totally. It makes you think, doesn't it? Which leads to our final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
What other quote-unquote arts or challenges in your own life might suddenly seem simpler, clearer if you took this same approach? Break it down, focus on the basics, understand the why.
Something definitely worth thinking about. Maybe over your next perfectly poached egg.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.